Mike, what happens when I take a large destabilizing loss? Well, it depends again where your emotional constitution is. If you're writing me about it, I don't have any intellectual solutions for you other than to ask you, are you putting in your protective stops and trailing religiously? If you can't trail based on percentage, which is ATR, okay, you could take a look at trying to use structure and see where support is. After which point, you can put your stop in below there. But if you find yourself aggravated because of the state of where the market is, if you're aggravated about anything and you feel like that's the predominant theme in your brain, whether it's politics, whether it's the summer being slow, who knows what it could be, I would literally take time off. When I was younger, I felt like a great fear about missing trading days because I felt like there was a certain amount of opportunity and I needed to be there for all of it because the opportunity was fleeting. And if I wasn't in the market, I could very easily ruin my career, miss out on the best trades, blah, 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 blah. And basically, it was all bullshit. It was all self made garbage. So, what I would say is, you know, take some time off, take the rest of the week off, take a day off, look at what occurred and try to understand from your own behavior standpoint what was it that happened that led to this outsized loss. Now, if you lost 1%, don't cry for me, Argentina. That's not an outsized loss. All right. I'm talking about something where maybe you didn't put your protective stop in, market worked against you. So the market's telling you something. It's saying, no, I'm the one who's omnipotent. I'm the one who's sitting at the head of the table, and you're lucky to be able to participate in my world. And if you disrespect me and you disrespect the risk, I'm gonna I'm gonna communicate with you in no uncertain terms just who's holding all the power. And so you have to understand that it has to be a certain type of humility that you bring to trading, in that if you lose money or you lose a good chunk of your money, you can be angry all you want, but anyone who's traded for a long time has been there, and that's just something that you have to deal with. Those are certain little hazing things that go down in the world that happen to all of us, where I took a position home overnight and the market opened lower below where my stop was. So instead of losing a 0.5%, I lost, say, three quarters of 1%. That's going to happen. There's going to be times when you put on a position and you're just starting and the thing starts to take off, and then something happens. There's a big buyer, there's a news story, there's a rumor, there's conjecture, who knows what it is, and the thing goes up $20 before you can get more on, because effectively the market moved quick and or you were unprepared to win. So all that stuff thickens your skin and helps you develop what I call trader character, right? Because everyone talks a mean streak about being a tough guy and everything, about how the world's supposed to work. But at the end of the day, it's life on life's terms. And everything that you do in and around your trading account should be intentional. From time to time, you're going to come to understand that there are blind spots that you have that just kind of come with the territory because you don't have enough experience. It says nothing about your trading ability, and it says nothing about who you are as a human being or what you're capable of. But ignorance is out there, and that's just going to come with time. So, what saves you in those moments is or are your protective stops, right? And then you get to go back in, after the market's closed, and you do your post mortem, whether that's every day or on the weekends, and you get to look at the situation and say, I had no idea this could possibly happen. I learned from it, and now let me reinforce the stronger tenets of my trading practice. Or if I didn't have one, how can I shore this up? You see? But you can't, try to bull your way through that. I think the more you try to bull your way through something, it doesn't work with the market. You have to understand who's the boss. You see what I'm saying? And it's not you. You have to understand from a standpoint of humility that if you try to bull your way through trading or through certain situations, it's typically going to work against you. I've never seen anyone kind of come, if you have fear on one side of the bell curve on the tail and you have greed on the other side, I haven't seen too many people come to the market continuously in either of those outlier tails and try to teach the market a lesson. typically they can get carried out in body bags, or they just lose so much money, they quit and they say things like the market's rigged and this and that, and they start blaming other people. Remember, we deliberately put ourselves in harm's way, and we also have the right to not participate. So if you find yourself feeling aggravated or frustrated, first thing you can do is cut your position size down to 1/4 or 1/10 of your normal trading size, just so that you can try to get back in the groove with things. Or you can put a time stop on yourself, right? Time stop on the trade would be like you go long on Monday, Tuesday, nothing's happening. Wednesday, the security's still not moving. Momentum's obviously stalled. You can offset the trade just for the sake of doing it. If you find yourself in a losing streak, you can put a time stop on yourself and say, okay, I've done nothing but lose money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not in tune with things. I'm going to sit and I'm not going to trade, but I'll sit at my desk and observe. Or what I would like to do is I would just not even come in. I wouldn't even upload and boot up the machine. I would just be like, I'm taking time off. I got to get in sync. I know and this doesn't happen to me, so I'm speaking hypothetically. But if your emotions aren't right, to try to trade through all of that's a recipe for disaster. So that's why I'm saying, like, you have to work on the mental game first, because it doesn't matter what you know if you're coming to the market in a bad spot. Think of it like a relationship. You're going on a first date and you're in a bad mood because something happened at work. You're going to bring that to the first date? There's going to be a short first date, and there's probably not going to be a second date either. So every day you have to approach the market as if it's a first date, and you're happy to be there. You feel grateful and lucky to be there, right? Not like you're God's gift, right? People have choices. And so likewise, that's a better mindset to approach your risk management than coming in thinking that you're owed something because you've put in all these hours. Putting in hours in study doesn't mean shit. You have to put your time in managing the risk, right? Actually managing the risk, not managing paper trades, so that you can calibrate your system with what's actually going on and feel the burn of making and losing money. You want to know what euphoria feels like and see how that prompts you to act. Do you start trading bigger? Do you double your size? Like, it all has to be systematized. So you have to work on all of that stuff before it happens. All right? Check out this video here.